So, welcome everyone to Advaita Vedanta Satsang House. The session that's currently on is Advaita Aparokshanubhuti, and Binduji is guiding us through, gradually through several, sections of that book. And the book that is being referred to is pinned up here, and it's a translation, English translation by Swami Vimuktānanda, and it has a more or less a transliteration from the Sanskrit, but there is a few comments as you read in that. But if you're well versed with Sanskrit, there's another document available in the chat, and this is from Advaita scholar Vidyaranya, and it's all in Sanskrit. There is also a YouTube channel link provided in the chat where you can access all the previous sessions up to class 5 and many other talks of Binduji in the YouTube channel called Advaita Retold. And this is the 6th room, so welcome to the house and the session. The chat will be closed, and so will be the hand raising for an hour. And once Binduji finishes his class, we'll have a half an hour Q&A or discussion with Binduji. Over to you, Binduji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, admission. Welcome all. We'll commence today's class. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashi Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vivagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sri Krishna Gurubhyo Namaha Sri Harim Paramanandam Uvadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. So in the last class we completed the sloka on the Viveka after having completed Vairāgya on the previous class. The last class was on Viveka. These are the part of the sampatti chatushtaya sampatti, which is the Vairāgya, Viveka. Then there is a sixfold quality requirement for the individual, which is called the sampatti, means six wealth. Wealth here is for spiritual wealth. So the 6 wealth are the next topics which is going to be discussed in the coming 3 verses. And after that is the last requirement, which is the mumukshutva, which we'll discuss after the 3. So in the sampatti, the order is Śama, Dama, Uparati, Titikṣā, Śraddha and Samadhana. So these 6 are being narrated 2 per verse in this book. Sadaiva vasana tyaga shobhayam iti shabditaha nigraho bahya vrittinam tamayitya vidhiyate. So sadaiva, sada eva means sadaiva. All times, at every moment or every moment of our life. Vasana tyagaha. Vasana, the literal meaning of vasana is smell or odor, or what we can say that, which normally adheres if we hold a flower or if we get into any place where there is a staunch odor or a pleasant odor, it affects our body and the dress. So to indicate a aspect of tendencies inherent in us, on our mind, this same word is being used by Advaita. Not only Advaita, the Shastra as such. So what does vasana means? The tendencies or the inherent qualities of our nature of our mind, based on which our mind reacts, acts, prompts, emotes, feels, etc. All of them are due to these inherent tendencies. So here they are saying that vasana tyagaha ayam shama iti shabditaha. Ayam means this word shama iti, by the word shama. Shabditaha means is coined or is the word termed as. So where do we abandon our desires or tendencies? We only know one place where they appear and they control us due to the surrendering to them. We surrender to them and they control us. When emotions overwhelm us, we surrender to the emotions and then the emotions are taking over and our thought process and our actions. Same way, anger, hatred, all those are called vasana. This is the tendencies which we have acquired over period due to improper thinking. That is where the Viveka will help us even to hone our tendencies to a polished manner. So Shama is the word used for the vasana tyaga or the control or the abandonment of such tendencies. Now it is easy for anybody to make a statement that you should control your vasana or you should control your innate tendencies. But we do not know how to do it. It is always prompted as if by an unknown force. We start acting due to the vagaries of the mind. The problem is that first problem is that we do not know our true nature. That is a known fact. Not only that we do not know that, but we also think that I am the individual, the ego, and related to the body, mind, and intellect. So all tendencies are acquired from this ignorance of our true nature. Not only that, but also with the wrong knowledge who we think we are. When we do not have this knowledge, we do not get into a discrimination of our experiences. The discrimination of our experiences can come only when we are prompted by teacher or shastra to look, why are you doing that? Or what prompts you to do that? This way, when we do that, we are still not successful. even though the teacher tells, you should not get angry, you should not show, what you call selfishness, all negative tendencies to be avoided and cultivate positive tendencies. The teacher in the books can advise, and it appears to be very easy. But the practicality, only when we go through it, only we know it. So what happens is that we cannot straight away take on to these problems without the discernment of what is right and what is wrong. And this what is right and what is wrong is not from the transactional validity of right and wrong, but from the absolute point of view, is it my true nature what is requiring this action, or is it that I am thinking I am the body, the mind and the intellect, and then that is the one which is prompting me to do. This discrimination is what is being asked by the teacher and the scriptures. But here also, even the teacher asks, or the scripture gives us the methodology, like, at all times you should, abandon desires as one of the requirement. The practical problem which we face is when we, get into a situation, before we get into the situation, we do not think. We are prompted by our mind. The powerful mind conceals our true nature and prompts us to act upon the desire of the mind, or the control by the mind. Controlled by the mind in the negative way. So when we are getting angry, we always repent getting angry later. But while getting angry, we do not repent. We take out our anger, throw things, or tear books, or, walk out of the room, walk out of a meeting, or, walk out at a date or a coffee meet, anything it can be. If we are pricked on the wrong button or the wrong issue, which we think is important to us, that triggers the anger. There is a beautiful 2 verses in the Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter. How does it happen? I'm not going there right now for that purpose. Sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodho vijayate. That all those things are there. But invariably, we always put something or somebody is the cause for my behavior. Never we take that I am responsible for my behavior. That attitude is never taken by us. If I am getting angry, somebody triggered that in me. If I am becoming violent, you asked for it, not that I wanted to give it. These are the way in which we react. To abandon these tendencies happening and driving us, we need to be proactive and do things before we act. Always our reaction is thoughtless. If we were thinking, our reactions will be different. That is why the reason between the wise men and ordinary people like us, the difference is that you will hardly find them reacting. They may either smile or they will just keep quiet. Because they are thinking. They are also gone through these stages. So they know how their mind works. The mind is prompting them to do something, and they are looking at the mind as a different object. They don't get identified with the mind and the inherent tendencies inside the mind, which is directing us to react in a certain condition. So this control, what they are talking about, the Śama, is that aspect of us controlling our reactions. Our reactions are driven by our tendencies. So controlling our reactions is the best example what we can use for Śama. Bahya vrittinam nigrahaha dama yidi avidiyate. Bahya vrittinam. External functions. The innate tendencies we discussed. Now, it is the external functions of not only organs. It can be organs of perception, it can be organs of action. Both are included in that one. This is what is called Dama. How do we control that? We can control them only we have learned how to master in Śama. Because our external actions are prompted by internal desires. So, Dama is the external reactions, whereas Śama is the internal reactions. In the Dama, there is also another aspect. New tendencies which are being developed by the mind are caused by the external organs. Because we get knowledge or information only through the sense organs and organs of perception. When we are looking or when we are seeing or when we are touching, feeling, sensing or hearing, we are forming opinion in our mind. Either related to a past incident and memory, we recall that, or sometimes if it's a new incident itself, we evaluate them with the selfish angle. Is it beneficiary for me? Is it doing good for me? Can I make use of it? Either, with ulterior motive or otherwise. We may not even knowing that these activities are happening while we are perceiving things. Because that is all happening in the mind. The mind is the one which is evaluating and making all the judgment, assumptions and everything. The eyes and the organs, bahya vrittis, all the external organs will be neutral and observing it. But they are added colors or they are given, direction because of the, inner tendencies in us. So if a flower is to be liked, the first time when you are seeing itself, you don't see the flower as a flower itself for the beauty of it and the smell of it or whatever it is. We won't even acknowledge the presence of the flower unless our mind wants that acknowledgement to happen. So too, with so many things which are coming and going in front of our sense organs, we are not even aware of it. Every moment, every experience is riddled with such things. But the mind will percolate and take only what is beneficial for it. The sense organs per se are not doing anything. They are just postmasters or delivery boys for the sense organs to be delivering the senses. But whether it should be accepted, not accepted, rejected, or ignored, all those things are done by the mind. So Dhamma to be successful, you need to have good Śama also. That is why Śama has been mentioned first, then Dhamma, so that we have the benefit of both Śama and Dhamma as the precautionary stage itself. Now Vidyaranya that like this. Tada eva Vairāgya karanam vivekam vyākhyāya Vairāgya śamādi ṣaṭka Vairāgya karya śamādi ṣaṭkam lakṣayati. So, having explained the Viveka and then the cause for the Vairāgya as the Viveka, now the text is pointing out to the śamādi ṣaṭkam means Śama, Dama, Uparati, Titikṣā, Śraddha and Samādhanam is being addressed here. Sada eva, Sadaiva, Ityadi, Tribi Shlogai. Starting with the verse Sadaiva, this particular verse, the next 3 verses are discussing these 6 qualities. Sadaiva sarvasmin api kale vasana tyagaha purva samskara upekshayam shama iti shabditaha. So he is saying the same. Sadaiva, all the time. It means sarvasmin api kale, every moment. Vasana tyagaha means what is that? Purva samskara, samskara upekshayam means samskara upekshayam. Shama iti shabditaha. Purva samskara means past what you call tendencies in the mind. Andakarana nigraha shama shabdartha. The word meaning is andakarana nigraha. Andakarana means mind. Nigraha means is restrainment or controlling. That is the shabdartha, means the word meaning of vasana tyaga means it should be taken as that. Bahya vrittīnān shrotra vak ādīnān nigrahaha nishiddha pravritti tiraskaraha dhamma iti shabdena abhidhiyate. Again the same thing. Bahya vrittīnān, like shrotra vak ādīnān nigrahaha. Here he is referring, saying that restrainment of words and listening of unwanted things, looking at unwanted things, all those things is the way in which Bahya Vrittīnān Nigrahaha is the restrainment of the tendencies of the sense organs to go external wise. Means to make an introvert attitude. Nishiddha pravritti tiraskaraha dhamma iti shabdena abhidhiyate. Nishiddha pravritti tiraskaraha. Nishiddha, in the Vedas, there is what are ordered and what are prohibited. So Nishiddha is the prohibited. So this prohibited pravritti means all actions which have been prohibited in the Vedas. Tesham tiraskaraha. Their tiraskaraha means abandonment or, withdrawal from them. Dhamma iti shabdena abhidhiyate. It is being addressed by the word Śama. Then comes the next couplet, which is what is called Uparati and Titikṣā. Uparati evam Titikṣā swarupaha. Vishayebhya paravritti Paramo parahar parato paramo parita parama uparati tarhita sa sahanam sarva dukkhanam titikṣā sa shubha mata vishayebhya paravritti paramaha uparati hi sa uparati hi saha sa. Uparati is a female gender word, so sa. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam titikṣā sa shubha mata. So here we have to understand that Uparati, the word itself, rati means indulgence. The indulgence in the world of objects, externalized. Because nobody indulges in themselves. Here we are talking about the, mind and the sense organs. So, Vishayebhya means the world of objects. Paravritti means the para means external, vritti means indulgence. Paravritti, so means the bahya vrittinam indulgence. That is, what is likely to happen in the Dama if it is not restrained is that they get indulged in the external objects. The organs per themselves are just what you call orifices or points of contact for the sense organs from the objects to reach the mind. But the mind, using the sense organs when the Dhamma is not practiced, will drive the sense organs for indulgence externally. It can be visual, auditory, or, by the taste of tongue or touch, etc. All the sense organs. When the sense organs indulge in the external objects, it is driven by the Dhamma. But here the sense organs are now taking the role of independent active actors. And the eyes do not want to withdraw from the scene which it is seeing. Or the ears do not want to, change the attraction what it is getting attracted. It can be gossip, it can be music, or it can be, satsang, or it can be anything for that matter. But when done overly, that is the most important aspect. Everything has a limit. After which, their efficiency comes down. And when their efficiency is less, the tendency for the mind to provocate the sense organs to remain indulged in it will be more, even though the sense organs have become tired. That is the reason why Uparati is being advised. Uparati means Rati means indulgence. Uparati means withdrawal of the indulgence. So, this withdrawing of the indulgence of the sense organs, even though it is prompted by Dama, which is in turn controlled by our tendencies, Śama. So, Śama, Dama, Uparati all are linked with one to another. But they are also reversely connected. The sense organs will create, the reaction of the sense organs, and those will become the what you call innate tendencies in us as for the Dhamma, Śama to work, for the Śama to be not successful. So all the three, Śama, Dama and Uparati, are related to the world outside and the contact, and thereafter the world of objects, developing the qualities on the individual. So if we are telling the nature of a person by his behavior, it is purely his own inefficiency in making a right decision and allowing his sense organs to run wild. The consequences of running wild and the mind is that you get dejections. Your desires, when it is being rejected or, broken, you are in a state of despondency or despair or, your mind becomes in a state of dependency for the objects. And not only that, sometimes we develop vengeance or hatred or will like to take actions so that if I am not getting, it should not be successful, it should not remain, you may destroy it or you may, decry the whole thing or decry the person whom you want not coming through. These things we are listening a lot nowadays in the social media of, the love and the rejection of love leading to either suicide or murder, things like that. All those things are from the same thing, the desires prompted by the Bahya Vrittis. Here we are talking about the fourth quality, what is called Titikṣā. Titikṣā, the English literal meaning is forbearance. It can be even endurance with patience. But you need very high level of patience for it. Not only our reactions, but even our thought process. Manasa vacha karmana. By the mind, by the word, or by the action. We should not be getting into an activity or anything which is, going against what is naturally happening. Sahanam means forbearance or, to go through the pain and pleasure of things. Sarva dukkhanam. Here when it is says sarva dukkhanam, you should take sarva sukha dukkhanam. You should take both the pleasure and the pain. Overindulgence in both are not good. And that is what is called the forbearance. Ta shubha mata. So that is what is being called as the best means for happiness. So vishayebhya iti means prasiddha bandhakebhya shabdita. What is that bandha? The bondage which can be vishaya is what is being referred to that. Ya paravritti nivritti. Paravritti nivritti means anityadi dosha shabdena grahana anicca sa uparati uchyate tirtaha. Anityatwadi dosha darshanena. How can we be successful for forbearance? Not withdrawing or running away from the problems, but developing that Viveka, which gives us the value whether it is eternal or not. That is the reason why we will be able to bring into us the value of evaluating things, to say that, does it matter? Should it matter to me or not? If somebody is hurting your ego, whatever may be the main means in which he has hurt your ego or your particular expectations, when this happens, you react very badly. This reaction, if you learn Titikṣā, you will learn the forbearance in a way that it is neither hurting you nor hurting the person who has done that. Because you know that these are all not eternal and not going to last forever. So when you have anityattvādi darshanena, when you see the anityatvam in that is the time when you can this Uparati. And when you do the Uparati, is the time when you also develop the patience for it. You need to have a patience for enduring this. That endurance of all sorts of sukha dukkha, samadhanam, sadhanadi, shītoshnadi dvandvanam, yat sahanam, anicca, pratikara anicca. In the Vivek Chudamani Shankaracharya, sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam, apratikara. That is what is being recorded here. Sahanam apratikara anicca. Sa shubha sukharupa titikṣā mata vidusham ityartha. By the learned people, they know how to evaluate all type of dualities, not only sukha and dukkha, happiness and sorrow, but heat and cold, all the type of sensory things. Either sukha dukkha is for the internal, for the mind. Shītoshna is for the external sense organs. So whether it is the eyes, ears, etc., or the internal organ mind, wherever duality is being seen, that duality has one thing which you need to remember is that none of them are eternal or permanent. You are neither to be eternally going to be happy, nor you are going to be eternally unhappy. Same way, you will never be permanently in cold or permanently in hot. These things keep coming and changing. The changing is their nature. So in an ever-changing world, if you start to dance to the tune of the changes, you are being made to dance by these changes. But the one who sees that ephemerality and accepts that, these changes are not eternal, they are all seasonal, and it's all driven by things which are all having a cause and effect, which are also time bound. So they will never be everlasting. So once this Viveka comes from this analysis, then even the forbearance or the Titikṣā becomes and a very, easily practicable way of living. Then the 8th verse is Nigamacharya Vakyeshu Bhaktihi Shraddheti Vishruta Chittekagraya Tu Sallakshe Samadhanam Idi Smritam. Nigamacharya Vakyeshu Bhakti Shraddha Idi Vishruta. That is the way in which it is. That is Nigamacharya. Nigama or Agama, both are the meaning is the same. Means in the scriptures, Acharya means the teacher. Vakyeshu means both are in the form of words. whether the scriptures or the teacher's word, bhakti means what you call your way in which you have devotion to that, devotion, reverence or trust on this, on the, in the scriptural words or the teacher's words. This is what is called Shraddha, is well known in the Vedic circles. Sa Shraddha iti Vishruta. Okay, that is how it is well known. Vedanta prasiddhatu punaha sad lakshyate sad lakshye sadeva saumya idamagra asid ityadi shruti lakshye. So here he is giving an example. Swami Vidyaranya is giving an example. Vedanta prasiddhatu puna. In the Vedanta there is a word, statement. Sadeva saumya idamagra asid. We have learned this in the Chandogya 6th chapter. 9 times Uddalaka tells Shvetaketu, Tat Satyam Tattvamasi Shvetaketu, Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asid is the way in which he started the whole thing. And he ends it with Sat Satyam Tattvamasi Shvetaketu. So when he said that Sat Lakshate, Sat Lakshe, directed toward the reality described in the statement, like these, Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asid, the being was in the form of existence in the beginning. This being means these things which you see, everything in your life, in your experiences, whether it is by the eyes, ears, nose, everything, whatever it is. These beings were in the form of existence in the beginning. It was a mass of existence without separate names and forms. And when the mind arose, they became the world and the experiencer, the subject and the object. But the existence never became something else. The existence remained as existence even in the names and forms, and even in the subject and the object and the experience. Existence is the ingredient, unquestionable, unchanging in nature. What changes is the names and forms. So, Sat Lakshya means that is the indicative truth which the father was teaching the son by giving Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadeyam Mrittigatteva Satyam. All these things are depending upon the name Vacharambanam. Vikaraha means in the name of forms. Namadeyam by different names. Mrittigatteva Satyam. In reality, they are all nothing but the mud. He was showing the pot and the doll and the lamp, etc. to his son, which were made of mud. So they are all different in the names and forms as lamp, doll or pot. But the reality for all of them is mrit or mud. If you take out mud from them, neither the pot will be there, nor will the doll be there, nor will the lamp will be there. Their reality is dependent upon the mud. So sad lakshate, same way, when it is said, tat satyam sattvamasi shvetaketo in the end, when the father says to the son, he is also indicating that everything remained as a mass of existence in the beginning. In the beginning means before the world appeared as waker or a dreamer. In the state of, this is exactly in the same Upanishad it says, Sadi sampadya na viduhu sadi sambadhyamahe. Having became one with the existence, all those things, the mosquito, the tiger, the jnani, the ajnani, the man, the lady, everything, the elephant, everything, they all became sat in their deep sleep. But none of them knew that they have become one with the sat. Sadi sambadhya na viduhu sadi sambadhyamahe. They never knew what that they have become one with the sat. And when the projection took place, the mosquito became the mosquito, the lion became the lion, the man became the man, the lady became the lady, the elephant became the elephant. Like that, everything became their own. Because that is the way in which they project themselves. But they were all one mass of existence in their deep sleep. That is what it says, sad lakshe sadeva saumya idamagra asit ityadi shruti lakshe. In this type of words, you should have bhakti, devotion, reverence, and trust. That is what is called the shraddha, with the seventh quality which is being, with the fifth quality which is being mentioned in the Shat Sampatti. And chitta ekagryam, tat eka jitnyasa ityartha. Chitta ekagryam. Agryam means end or point or the, spot. Agryam. Eka agryam means single pointedness. Chitta means the inner equipment. Mana, buddhi, ahankara, chitta, all the four are included in it. When the inner equipment is focused in the single pointedness, in the previous one, that is shraddha. That shraddha of devotion or a trust to the word of the scripture and the words of the teacher is the beginning. Where do they culminate? They have to culminate in this single pointedness of the inner equipment in the teachings of the Upanishad or the teacher's statement. Tat eka jitnyasa ityartha. That eka jitnyasa means single desire to know the truth. That alone, which is being indicated by all the Upanishads. That desire, when it is there, the mind becomes tranquil, single-pointed, do not waver, and it is having the desire in the mind to know the truth, what is being taught. That focus with which single-pointedly the mind is learning from the teacher and the scripture, with development of the previous qualities, which otherwise can waylay the mind, take away the mind to the sensual objects, etc., withdrawing from all of them. And when the mind is being withdrawn, the mind will react. So you need to have the forbearance even towards your own mind, so that your mind is not tortured by you. Because there are people who torture their mind, thinking that is the tapas. That is how they will succeed in it. No mind will ever be successful if you are forcefully, locking it up. It is only through Viveka. And that Viveka should develop in Vairāgya. And that Vairāgya should develop into Śama, Dama, Uparati and Titikṣā. Then only your Shraddha, the devotion to the teaching and the words of the teacher, will become a true devotion, where you will be ready to focus your entire being into the teaching, and you will be moving towards knowing the truth. Tat samadhanam iti smritam. That is what is the samadhanam. Samadhanam, there is another meaning, peacefulness, quietude. But here the samadhanam meaning is the mental collectedness or the inner resolution of the mind toward the teachings. When you are having the collectedness of the mind, the chitta ekagrata, in the teachings, that is the time when your mind will be at peace. This is a culmination of a tavastarya or a austerity we embark upon ourselves. Withdrawing the sense organs, controlling our innate tendencies, then we are giving them direction by forbearance, and then bringing them the attention into teachers' words or the scriptural words with single pointed collected mind. And then that is the time when we will be at peace, and our study or Shravana Manana Nididhyasana will become fruitful only when we have heard it fully. When we have listened, Shravana is the first one. If your Shravana or if you are not listening is not proper because your mind is wavering, half the time when you are attending the class, your mind will be thinking about something else which is important to you. So where is the mind? It is running after the sense organs and driven by the innate tendencies. So half the time what the class is going on, nobody listens to that. Their mind is running somewhere else. Something related to the words which is being used. Oh, same thing happened to me that day. But by the time you think about that day, that event and everything and come back, the class has moved on by another 2-3 sentences. So you lost the continuity. So how will you have the single pointedness to understand the whole thing? Your Shravana will become inefficient. And when you don't have a proper Shravana, your Manana will not have the effect, because all sentences are connected, interlinked by the previous to the next. So this previous to next connection, you will lose it. And when you lose this connectivity, you will not be able to do proper manana. And if you are not able to do the proper manana, how can you have a fixation of your knowledge? Nididhyasana. Resolution by the intellect in the teaching. The teaching should be resolved without doubt, without any wavering mind. So that is what is the samadhanam is talking about. So we can see that even though they are being mentioned as separate, they are all interconnected with Viveka, Vairāgya, Śama, Dama, Uparati, Titikṣā, Śraddha, Samadhanam. And when all these things are matured and perfect, that is the time when you will be looking for your, what you call, the desire to know, to desire to become one with the truth. Samsara bandha nirmukti. Kadam me syad kada vide. Iti ya sudrada buddhir vaktavya sa mumukshuta. Samsara bandha nirmukti. The bondage, bandha. Nirmukti means freedom. Samsara means the mundane life. Kadam me syad. How can this happen? Because now you know that the mundane life is not the place where you, because didiyad vai bhayam bhavati, itara mandaram kurute ata tasya bhayam bhavati. All those things what we learned in all the other Upanishads will come into our mind, that these are the reasons why I am bound by the birth and death and the likes and dislikes, duality, desires. And then, dejections, depression, fear, freedomlessness, all those things are included in the one word samsara. Kadam me syad, how can this happen? Kada vide iti ya sudrada buddhi vaktavya sa mumukshuta. Kada, kadam me syad, kada me syad. How can it happen and when will it happen? Vide means he's talking to the Lord himself. When can be that happen? Iti ya sudrada buddhi. A firm desire to get freed from the problems of life. Problems of our life are by duality. All the duality are the causes for our problems in life. The life itself is due to duality. So, how can it happen and when will I get free from this duality? There will be a earning desire in the student. That is what is being called as mumukshuta or mumukshutva. Evam śamādi śaṭkam abhidāya, after having explained this, śamādi śaṭkam means śama, dama, Uparati, Titikṣā, śraddha, samadhanam. All of them having explained, abhidāya means explained in the beginning. Edat karyabhūtam mumukshutam aha. Karyabhūtam, edat karyabhūsham. The text now explains karyabhūtam means the fruit of the śamādi śaṭkam. Karyabhūtam, by the 6 plus the Viveka, Vairāgya put together, you are developing the desire to be knowing the truth of Brahman or Atman. That is called the mumuksha. Moksha icha. Mumukshuda is, mumukshu is desire to be free. Mumukshuta means is the nature of being free. So here being neuter sentence, mumukshutam. Samsara bandha iti ya sudrada buddhi sa mumukshuta vaktavya. Iti anvayaha. That means that samsara bandha, which I explained that, the relevant verse it's starting with that, kadam me syad vibho kada me syad. In that, whatever has been mentioned, the firm conviction or the unshakable resolve, sudrada buddhi, or in other words, nididhyasana, itself is a mumukshita. So, the mumukshutva, the liberation, the desire to be free, is the culmination of the knowledge itself. Iti anvayaha. Saka ityata aha bho vide mat eva yat va sarvakartari vidata brahman me mama samsara bandha nirmukti nana yoni sambandha nivritti kada kasmin kale kadam kena prakarena bhavet. So these are all the questions which is that one who wants to study or know Brahman is asking. Bho vibho, vide means O Brahman or the creator. Vide means actually the one who creates. Here it is talking about the Brahman itself. Madeva yat sarvakartari vidata. He is the vidata means creator for sarvakartari. All the activities is by him. Brahman. Me mama samsara bandharana nirmukti. Let me be freed from the bondage of samsara. Nana yoni sambandha nivritti. The many cycle of birth and rebirth, death and birth, rebirth that has been happening. Kada, when will it happen? Kasmin kale, at what time can I expect it? Katam, in what manner? Kena prakarena, in what means can I achieve that? Iti evam rupa buddhi. Now the intellect is now turned only in towards that. That turning of the intellect, the avrittachakshu amrutatvam ichan, in the Kathopanishad we discussed about it. That desire to turn towards Atma or Brahman. How can it happen? When can it happen? Where will it can happen? And what way will it happen? Oh Brahman, you only have to bless me. That surrendering to the Brahman, surrendering of your individuality or the ego, with which you thought that you were the individual and everything, is the mumukshudha, what is being discussed here. So by the Viveka, Vairāgya, Śama, Dama, Uparati, Titikṣā, Shraddha, Samadhanam, all of them are to bring your individuality and the ego to a state that is unreal, and the only reality is Brahman or Atman. So the desire by the ego itself, wanting to abandon its own state, because it has been suffering all through because of that separation which it was holding on to. Now, to embrace me into yourself, Atman or Brahman, has to be done by the Atman or Brahman itself. As an ego, I have no power to do that. As a creator of the whole world, the Brahman only has the creator who created my ego. He separated me out from himself. And to take me back, I am ready. I am ready to even die. My ego, I kill my ego. Please embrace me and take me to your bosom. Is the pray what the mumukshutva, the one who is desire, longing for mumukshutva or knowing Brahman is praying in the last verse. So with that we have completed the Shat Sampatti. Now we'll touch upon the next verse where a reference to these qualities are being referred, but it will be taking us forward, which we'll discuss in next Wednesday's class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, Binduji. Again, a very profound session on the Shat Sampatti. The hand raising is open. We have half an hour to ask, questions, clarifications, clarify any doubts, as Binduji always says. So please come up, and if you have any questions, or if you're not feeling up to it, you can put it in the chat and we can discuss. Ganesh ji is here. Ganesh Prasad ji. Hope you can come up this time. Yes. Namaste.
You can unmute yourself and ask the question. This time he came up. Yes. Now you're unmuted.
Good evening,
Good evening. Good evening. Sorry for last day.
No,
Wednesday.
You need not be sorry. It was... Anyway, I was not very well prepared because I couldn't listen to the first half of the last lecture. And later on I joined, and yet I had one question to be asked. And unfortunately, due to some technical problem, today I updated my app. So I could easily come up. And thank you for welcoming me. My last time's question is... I actually listened to it today morning once more, the entire session. There you have given one wonderful comparison to, there is no activity in the knowledge. That is giving a comparison to the sunlight. It just happens. There is no activity as such. My question is knowledge an actionless activity? One thing. And, pardon me. And then my question is, you have said that the very act of knowing is eternally present, and that act of knowing is that itself is Brahman. Is it Prajnanam Brahma? Is it knowing aspect? Drishya, apart from that, the knowing aspect is eternal, you have said. Then is that knowing is a dynamic thing in Brahman, which is always present, is my question.
Okay. See, when we are having light, sunlight has no activity per se. Yeah. The sun and the light are not separate. They are one and the same. In the sunlight, we attribute activity as illumination. The act of illumination by the light is an activity attributed by us in the light. The light has no intention or desire to illuminate anything. That is the swabhava of it. It is the nature of it. Yeah. The reflection on the mirror, through which the sunlight is falling onto our face, and when we are looking into the mirror also, we say the mirror is reflecting an activity of action is attributed into the mirror. It is reflecting my face. Now, if you look at it, nowhere in this process the light has any desire to act or do anything of its own. The nature of it is to be light. The reflecting media has this nature of it, because of which it is reflecting, and the light which is falling on my face is reflected by the mirror. So I am saying the mirror is reflecting now. The activity is not in the light, but we are projecting them on everything. On the sun, on the light, on the mirror, on our face, everywhere we are saying that the light is doing certain thing. Light has no intention or no, what you call, kartrutva, or the agency for action. Knowledge is very similar to that. Knowledge has no agency for anything to be done. Knowledge is knowledge. That's all. In the knowledge, if anything is being seen, we knowing it is not the job of the knowledge. It is not the job of our mind. The mind is like the mirror which is reflecting. The object shining or illuminated by the knowledge, or coming in the realm of the knowledge, which is being reflected in the mind. And when we are associating with our mind, we say that I am knowing the object. Actually, there is no knowing of the object that is happening. This is what is when we do pratibodha vididam matam. When we do that, every analysis of all our experiences In all our experiences, knowledge is one aspect which has never have any agency of activity. The individual says, I am the subject who is knowing. The objects are objects are separate from me and they are known to me. All these things are projections by the mind of the subject, like the reflection which is being seen in the mirror by us. The knowledge has no agency or role in any of these things. The knowledge is there as it is in the mind, as it is in the same mind which becomes the subject. He knows himself also in knowledge as a subject. He knows the object also in the knowledge only. The subject, the object, the knowledge, the knowing, everything is now being attributed as Triputi, which Venkat asked in the last class, attributed onto the knowledge, saying that an act of knowing is taking place. The agency is an attribution given in the knowledge to become the subject of knowing. The agency of object as a product of knowledge or for it eligible for knowledge is again attributed in the knowledge to the product. The product will not exist if knowledge is not there. The subject will not exist if the knowledge is not there. Nor will there be the reflecting media in the mind where the knowing taking place. It will not know neither the subject nor the object. So all those things are now being projected as an activity in the mind, like the reflection being seen, our face being reflected in the mirror, and we are seeing our own face in the mirror. But light has no role to play. It is the swabhava of the light to show. Same way it is the swabhava or the nature of knowledge to become, anything comes in the realm of it is eligible to be known. That's all.
So knowledge is all-compassing, effulgent thing in which the seer, the seen, and the act of seeing and the sakshi. I think you have mentioned that all those things will merge into one mega thing, if we could call that.
Yeah, it is right.
Okay.
Now in the space,
then all these attributions are done by the subject only.
Right.
Okay.
Another example which we can say is that space. Everything is in the space. My body is existing in the space. I am knowing everything in the space. Objects are in the space. If space is not there, neither the objects will be existing in the space, nor I will be existing in the space, nor I will be knowing the act of, existing in the space. But did space has any role to play for the existence? Or the object to be there, I am to be there? They didn't have any, the space don't have any agency. We are appearing in the space and then we are using the space for transaction and putting the whole blame that, that is my bedroom, this is my living room, this is my body, that is my object. Everything is dependent on the space for their own existence. In the space, when they come, they occupy the space and then they become occupied by the space, or they appear in the space, which both way you can say that. But space is, no agency is there in the space. It is neither asking you to get out nor asking you to come in. It is there without any protest or acceptance. Neither it is protesting nor it is accepting, because that is the nature of it. Same way, then knowledge, we are talking about the knowledge, consciousness, awareness, whatever word you want to use it, you can use it. Because each word is used by different people for different purpose. So I don't know whichever language or whichever word you want to be comfortable with, you can say. If you want to use awareness, use awareness. If you want to use consciousness, use consciousness. Or if you want to use knowledge, use knowledge. But in all the three, there is only one thing which is true. Just as space has no role to play in objects existing in self, anything which is coming in consciousness, awareness or knowledge cannot escape being known, or cannot escape or cannot be present anywhere outside knowledge. Including space is within knowledge. That is where the beauty of it.
Thank you, Binduji. And in today's
Thank you,
lecture,
Ganesh.
it was a fantastic journey. All the Shat Sampatti were wonderfully explained. And the first reversal of, instead of Viveka and Vairāgya and Viveka, that reversal actually makes us feel the significance of the Shat Sampatti now more effectively. And one question, simple question I wanted to ask, all these are simultaneously happening. One is dependent on the other. I don't think there are hierarchy or one after the other linear progress like that. I think all the Shat Sampatti will be taking place simultaneously, is my feeling. Is it true, Binduji?
Yeah, it's true. All of them, including Viveka and Vairāgya also. It is a progression. Everything is, happening simultaneously, and it is a graduation. It is just like our school studies, no? We study all the subjects, including maths, language, art, physical activities, everything we are studying. That is developing the man. The man-making activity is going on. By the time that teenagership comes in and adolescence, you are ready to become a man or a lady, with all expertise. You know what is right, what is wrong, what is to be done, what is not to be done. But, okay, I'm not talking about people going in the wrong direction. Those are people who have not applied their mind. So that happens when you don't learn all the, supporting activities. Then you become one-sided.
So, Binduji, this that you explained right now, you were speaking of the chit aspect of Brahman, is it, Binduji? When you were speaking of knowledge.
Knowledge is it is the Satchitananda, that Satyajnanam Anandam Brahma, that Jnanam or Chit in Satchitananda. That aspect, consciousness aspect or the awareness aspect, that is the one which I'm talking about.
So, Binduji, would you call that as knowing or would you call that as knowledge? Like it's knowledge.
It is knowledge.
Knowledge.
It's a knowledge. There is no activity in it. That's what in the last class I said.
Right. So
in knowledge, there is no agency. There is no knowing in it. Knowing is an attribution given by the mind.
Right.
Or knowledge.
Right. So it is just, as you said, it's just light. Anything falls into its light is obviously revealed. Correct?
Yes.
No?
Right.
So that we will call as the Jnanam aspect of
right.
Brahma. Right. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prasad.
Thank you, Binduji. Thank you very much for this.
Binduji, I have
Namaste, Venkat.
Namaste.
That's welcome, Venkat.
Binduji, as we navigated from Vairāgya to Viveka and now to the Shat Sampatti today, the sixfold qualities. Each of them seems like fine graining the ego, make it unwavering, bring it to ekagrata, that is the samadhana, and let it surrender, seeking a liberation. It seems like a fine-graining the ego with the different dimensions, the inner discipline,
Yes.
external discipline,
Right.
then enduring the pain and hold it with the patience, then dedicate towards the words of the Guru. This is one quality I lacked all along was that samadhana. I put it in incompleteness. I think that bothered me a lot. Sense of incompleteness. I don't know why, where, what. That bothered me big time. And while here the description is other way, that like single pointedness.
Yeah.
Why? How do you connect these? This is what I suffered from a lot.
Yeah. See, single pointedness is the ultimate state, or almost you are, fine-tuned you so that there is nothing which is wavering you or taking you away into any other activities other than knowing your own nature or your Atma, Brahman. That is what is the finale, where your mind is single focused, and that state of single pointed state of mind is a state where the mind is at peace, because there is no wavering going on. There is nothing which is attracting it hither and thither. So all those things are avoided, and now you are in the threshold. No, as my famous example, the pole vault guy is on the top of the tip of the bar. He can fall across the bar or reverse back and fall onto the pole side. So when you are holding the tip of the pole, you have to swing. That swing is what is called the mumukshutva. When your mumukshutva takes place, you will be driven towards that. Till then, all the climb running from a distance, pushing the pole and running along with the pole's height to the tip of the pole, all of them are the Shat Sampattis and Viveka, Vairāgya and all those things put together. But when the pole is vertically straight, 90 degrees to the earth, and you are in the pit, what is between you is either you touch with the pole, the bar, or you push the pole and swing to the other side. When that is happening, is that single pointedness will become this thing. How will I be across the bar successfully and fall onto the mat? Is that single time what you are thinking about it at that time. You have forgotten the length which you ran. You have forgotten the monkey climb you did on the pole. But at the tip of the pole, when you are there, all you are focused is only to be on the other side of the bar. That is the samadhanam point of view. When you have learned from the Shastra teacher, what is that? Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asi. That everything is remained as existence in the beginning. When those truths were being told, now you are equipped your mind not to waver it. You have learned not to be, losing patience and developed forbearance. And you have developed now full faith in the teaching and everything. You are ready. Now your mental point, you are single pointed now by the time. But yet, for it to happen, you need the grace of Atma or Brahman. When it embraces you, you don't know when it will happen. So you ask, Kadam me syat, Kada me syat. All those questions are asked by the mumukshu, the one who is desire. Because you remember that shloka, mantra from the Mandukya Upanishad, no? Ime mam tam brunute. What that there is a famous verse in that word, no? The Atma has to absorb you, even if you are ready.
Yameva
Atma. What is that, Prasad? Yameva
esha vrinute tena labhyah. Not that.
Tena labhyah. Yes, that is the one. So that is how the samadhanam has to be learned.
No, I think that was a difficult one, Bindoji. What I came to know is to surrender to the 2 feet of the Guru. The feet of the Guru represent Viveka and Vairāgya, Murti. The Guru himself is embodiment of it. Just go surrender to the person. Put our, Sāṭka namaskara, just fall in the feet of the Guru.
That Shraddha is good enough. Then you have to surrender to the teaching and follow the teaching. That is, the teaching is where you will get all this Viveka. And once you have the Viveka, Vairāgya will develop automatically. And that Vairāgya will teach you how to develop Śama, Dama, Uparati, Titikṣā, all of them. You don't have to take separate effect, because it as you rightly said, it is, even though it is being given as separate, they all work in the synchronous manner. They are all synchronous in what you call working together. And it will happen when you are surrendering. That's Shraddha. Then Samadhanam has to be yours.
Yes, Bindoji. Thank you, Bindoji.
Thank you, Venkat.
One simple question. Maybe my mind is telling it is silly, but is that samadhana state of mind or the mumukshutva state of mind be compared to the deep sleep?
No. That cannot take place in the deep sleep. This is where you are fully aware and awake. And you are now convinced what has been taught by the Upanishad and the teacher is undoubtedly the truth. And that truth is none other than me. That Tattvamasi, when you heard it, that Tat and Tvam words, meanings will become clearer only if you have been having faith, Shraddha and, teaching. That is the time when the Samadhana takes place. Sushupti is not a Samadhana or a Samadhi state. It is our Swarupa state, Swarupa Avastha. That is our true nature. Where we are not...
Samadhana would lead to, rather gives more conviction, rather established conviction about the state of deep sleep.
We will know it is the same me who he was in the deep sleep without knowing anything. The one which is now in the waker, who is being projected as the waker and the waking world. The projection of the waker and the waking world is not two separate things created by somebody else other than me. Me in the deep sleep had all the potential. And it is that potential which has now come into the waking as a waker, into the dream as a dreamer. It is the same entity. And the world is not separate from it, because everything has come from that. So what comes from mud will be made of mud. What comes from gold will be made of gold. Like that. What comes from existence and knowledge is the way in which we experience everything, including ourselves and the world. Why don't we see that? The knowledge and the awareness in the existence in everything. They exist just as I exist. The existence is common in everything. You cannot divide the existence. You can divide it by the subject, object, by the names and forms. But the existence, where is the existence? You can divide it. You cannot divide it. Same is the case with the knowledge or the awareness or consciousness aspect of it. Where can you divide it? You cannot divide it. It is in existence and consciousness, everything is appearing. And that was the state in my deep sleep. I was existence and consciousness, but I did not project the waker or the dreamer. So therefore nothing else was there. So I say that I knew nothing because nothing was there. I didn't project anything.
So now he can no more say that I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything.
Yes. That's right. He has to now say that there is no knowing. He is knowledge itself.
Yeah. That's true. Yes, Binduji, I'm convinced.
Thank you, Ganesh. Prakash, you had something?
No, Binduji, I think because it is already 10:32, we can do it on Sunday. I'll ask the question on Sunday. Yes.
Okay, then you can wind up the class.
Yes, okay. So, again, a heartfelt thanks to Binduji for guiding us through the very intricate details of Shat Sampatti, which is the kind of the foundation of practice, if you want to think of it that way, but combining it with Sravana Manana, which is what we're doing. Then Viveka, Vairāgya, which was in the earlier classes. So again, heartfelt thanks, Binduji. And for those who came up on the stage, Ganesh Prasadji, Venkatji, thank you very much for asking some very profound, deep questions. And not last but the least, all the people who came and participated. For those who are interested in following up, the replays are available for this particular room and the earlier rooms, or you can catch up on the YouTube channel where there are some recordings available. This recording will be available in a few days also there. And yes, also thank you to Artemisia. I hope you are feeling better. And with that, over to Binduji to ring the bell for the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash, Ganesh Prasad, and Venkat for questions. Artemisia, thank you very much. Happy to hear your sound again. Welcome all. Thank you all for your continued presence and interest in the teachings. Hope you are getting clear about the method. Listen to the replays either here on my YouTube channel, and anytime if you have any questions, you can message me and I'll get back to you. Thank you all. Hari Om. Good night.
Hari Om. Good night.
Hari Om.
Good night.